Hey, welcome to the Overshare pamphlet. My name is Rob, and I'm the host of this one-man show coming to you every Monday, 6 a.m. UK time, except this episode is not coming out on a Monday at 6 a.m. Because, well, there are multiple reasons. First of all, I did not put out an episode last week. I warned you guys that I was going to be on holiday, so I could not record anything. I was just like, I needed some time off, just in general, just a week of relaxation, and it went super well. So I'm back. But also, the other reason is that because I flew so close to the end of this past week, I couldn't really prepare anything for Monday 6 a.m. So and adding on to that, I guess, because I'm based in the UK, I do not have access to Euphoria, because this episode is about to be about Euphoria. I did not have access to the episode, of course, until Monday. So I've watched the episode. I have so many thoughts, and this is like sort of my first impression, I guess, of the new season of Euphoria, season 3, which may or may not be the last season of the show. I do think it is. I think it is actually at least ending with this one, because Zendaya has said already that she has no plans, or at least she said that she thinks it's the last season, so which makes me believe that she doesn't have any plans to come back. She doesn't want to come back. And you know what? Like, the discussion that I'm gonna have in this episode is sort of like also pointing towards that, because we'll get to it in a second, but it feels like the show has overstayed its welcome a bit. Like, not necessarily in terms of cultural presence in a way. It's still very much discussed. Like, when the episode dropped, every social media platform was on fire. But it's just like, when you tune in, everyone knows already that it might be a very trashy show now. It's like, been downgraded so bad since the first season. But also, apart from that, I think it's just like an interesting situation of like this. The season has come out many years after the second one, and it's sort of like, its actors have. Some of them have graduated, I guess, from the TV, from a small screen. And I'm talking about, of course, Zendaya and Jacob Elordi and Sydney Sweeney. They've all, moved on to better things. They've actually, talking specifically about Jacob Elordi and Zendaya, become proper, serious actors. So, it does feel. I read also, I think, an article on. I can't remember if it was The Guardian or what. Anyways, I read an article that actually really, I think, was spot on what the I don't want to necessarily say like an issue, but it's just like a status, I guess, of the Euphoria world in that sense. Like, every actor in it, or at least most of them, feel like they have graduated from Euphoria. They're like, bigger names now. They don't need Euphoria anymore, if that makes any sense. Even Hunter Schafer, I think, in a way, she. We haven't seen anything of her in this episode, but it feels to me like all of them have grown up so much, career-wise and image-wise, that they just don't necessarily need the TV show anymore. But that in itself is a compliment to the casting, of course, and all the actors themselves, because let's be very honest, majority of them were complete unknowns before this show. So whoever cast all these people, they did just an incredible job. So I'm very, very pleased with it, of course. To say, it's not like, necessarily like a strong critique of the show. It's just like a matter of fact, like just a natural process that they've cast people that are were incredible, had immense potential, and they just have graduated from the show, and that's okay. So I think season 3 should be, I hope it is, a good place to end the TV show. to be quite frank, like every season of Euphoria could end where the season ends, if that makes any sense. Like season 1 could have ended with that and that's it. Like we could have just like left it there. And even season 2, the way season 2 ended, it sort of felt like, you know, another chapter end in that, like another book end to the story. But it's fine because like every season ends with like an open ending basically. Like it could very well not come back, or it could, and so it did. And so here we are. But yeah, I have many thoughts on the first episode at least. We of course don't know anything about the rest of the season, and you can for sure expect me to like talk about the entire season when it finishes. But for now, this is just sort of like a first impression. And of course, again, take it with a grain of salt because I don't know what happens next. I don't know if I'm gonna be, you know, eating my words or whatever. But let's just start off in general with my impression on how this season is shaping up to be. Maybe, let's just say. First of all, I have had this weird feeling while watching the first episode that I, you know, was in the same world, but also not really. Like, it's a weird setting, because now the show has pivoted completely. We have abandoned the like high school setting that we were accustomed to for the past 2 seasons, basically, and now we are in adult world, quote unquote. And that feels different, and the genre also shifted, because before it was mostly like you know, high school drama sort of show, but now it's turned into like a Western cartel, like you know, Narcos adjacent TV show. And the characters are all the same, though. That's the interesting part that I just cannot wrap my head around. Like, while the setting and the vibe and the cinematography as well seems a bit different from the previous seasons, the characters, oddly enough, to me feel like they're still stuck in the same, you know, archetype. I mean, people were discussing online that Cassie, this episode specifically, when she was talking about, well, spoiler alert, she was trying to convince Nate. No, she managed to convince Nate to make her do, you know, like to start her OnlyFans career to help finance their wedding. That people were saying that that's like very unusual for Cassie. Like, she's manipulating Nate back now, and Nate feels a bit different in the sense of he seems like a nice guy and he's the one who's making sense, and that's true. That is different, but at the same time, I feel like the way they're acting doesn't, or like, this is not necessarily like the way they're acting per se, but it's more like maybe the writing. I don't know. Like, it just feels like they're still the same kids. Like, you know, like even Zendaya's character, like, I understand that she's stuck in this loop because of the debt that she owes Lori in that sense. Like, Rue, I don't care. Like, you mean to tell me? Well, I mean, I hope we explore a bit of, you know, of emotional and intelligence, like at least emotional intelligence growth, or, you know, whatever, like if she went backwards as well. I hope we do explore a bit of that, because it's crazy. Like, to me, she still feels like the same exact person that hasn't really grown up in any way. I don't want to necessarily I don't want necessarily like her to mature per se. Like, it could be, but also there's no proper difference. Like, she's still up to like no good. She's still very careless about the people around her and her family and yada yada yada. So as of now, nothing seems to have changed. I mean, again, this is just episode 1, so we'll see what happens in the next episodes. But also, again, the feeling that I'm having with this first episode is that we're not going to care about any of that. We're just going to be caring too much about like this dark market, like black market, like prostitution, yada, like Lori versus this new cartel that, you know, Rue now wants to work for and all that stuff. Like, it seems like that's gonna be the main focus of the season, which from a stan point of view, I'm not 100% happy about. I would have loved that to be the backstory, like the story in the back, if that makes any sense, because Euphoria has always been about the relations between all the characters, like all the main characters. So I would love for that to be the case again, and to explore more of that. But it seems to be like they were going to be focusing more on the action stuff and the drama, but like the very tense moments between, this, like, it's this narco situation basically. So yeah, I mean, I'm a firm stan, especially like I consider the spin-offs, the two episodes that came out in between season 1 and season 2, the best like episodes ever that were ever made in television history. Like those two specifically. I mean, there's plenty of other episodes in Euphoria, especially season 1, that have just major impact. But those two specifically, like those are the ones, like they're very introspective. They're all about Rue and Jules. Like the story is supposed to be about the two of them as well. Like that they're supposed. What happened to the parallel that they are, like, supposed to be like Romeo and Juliet, basically. Like Rue and Jules are basically supposed to be based off of Romeo and Juliet and all of that. And like guys, and the complicated relationships between all of them, and especially like the Nate Jacobs, Rue, Jules triangle situation. It seems like from a trailer that the only one that we might be exploring again is the Cassie x Maddie relationship, which I am excited about, of course, because that's another one that I really wanted to explore more. But it doesn't feel, at least, that we're going to be delving into a lot of complexities with this season, unfortunately. At least from a first look. I would be pleasantly surprised if that happened, but it doesn't seem like it. But at the end of the day, like, you gotta eat what you gotta eat, and the internet is right. Like, even if the season is trash, we'll all be tuning in because we love the character. We fell in love with the character in the first place, but then we fell in love with the second season, and that's like this cardinal sin, I guess, that was committed. Writing in season 2 became so weird that the sloppy stuff was, like, entertaining enough to watch, like a la, I don't know, Love Island style almost. Like, we went from introspective and from very deep emotional depiction to catfights between Cassie and Maddie. Those then became the focal point of season 2, basically, and that's the cardinal sin, because now, I mean, I guess the writing of the show is going to be more about these surface level things rather than what really made Euphoria what it is. But you know what? Again, as the internet is saying, I'm gonna eat it up regardless. Like, I don't care. I'm tuned in. And despite it all, it's still shot beautifully. The characters are all still very cool. The makeup and the style, the music, and the acting is still superb. Like Rue for episode 1, Zendaya, after she almost got shot in the head, like she had that situation with the apple on her head or whatever. The second after that, after she realizes she's alive and she hasn't, basically died, Zendaya, like, Emmy, another Emmy for you, girl. Like, you're, like, it's just, like, beautiful to see. So, am I excited about the writing of the season? Not really, but am I going to be tuning in because of the drama and everything else, and, like, the silliness and goofiness of the characters and the great acting in general? Yes, I will. We all will be. Let's not kid ourselves. And also, another funny thing that happened on Twitter was that, like, the best thing that came out of Euphoria was what people are saying about Euphoria every time that episode comes out. Like, the commentary surrounding the show is in and of itself a massive experience that you have to experience yourself. Like, you have to be on the social media for that. Like, the amount of memes, tweets, just photos, edits, everything is just unparalleled. Like, no show gets that level. I'm sorry. Like, yes, fan edits of Heated Rivalry are insane, but the commentary and the meme, just mere like engagement in terms of actually talking about what's going on in the show is just unparalleled. Like, the Euphoria is king for real. But yeah, I guess we'll see what happens with this season. What are my hopes for the characters? At least I hope one that Rue and Jules, I guess I hope they can smooth things over, and when they meet up again, that it's, you know. Oh, I'm really curious to see like what their dynamic is gonna be. If it has, if it's gonna reignite something or not. Two, I want to see more of Maddie. I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Maddie is like she did, like she had very like small screen time on this like first episode, and just those like 4 shots of her made it already on TikTok and fan edits that has already, like, some of these edits already have 1 million likes or more than that now. Like, that's the power that she holds. Alexa Demi, please, after this season, please get more into Hollywood, because your attitude, your face card, your style, your everything, like, you are an icon. You're simply like beloved. The internet loves Alexa Demi. Like, she is a girl, and that's it. So I want to see more of her. And I guess I do also want to see an end to this like drug situation, like the drug mafias and all that stuff. Like, I do want to see an end of that. Like, I want to have an end of that chapter. That's fine. Let's focus on this season, but let's just end it. And if the show ends with this season, I want at least a good ending. They don't have to do that much. Like, if they redo something like an open ending, like they did with season 1 and season 2, I'll be so fine with it. So these are the main things that I want. I'm excited to see Trisha Paytas. I wonder what she's gonna do. What if she's in the strip club? I would love to see that. And then, of course, I want to see what else. Who is the other actress that is like in it? Well, not actress, but Rosalia is gonna be in it as well. And I'm curious to see how she does in this one too. I'm just excited to see these small surprises as well. So let's see. Let's catch up again when the season ends, and we'll see what my final thoughts are at. But yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys think about the first episode specifically, and what are your hopes and dreams about this season. What do you think you can achieve? What do you think you could have achieved? And yada yada yada. And yeah, see ya in the next episode. I'm gonna give the word to the sponsor of the of this episode, and then don't go anywhere, because after that I will be discussing a lot one specific album that I'm really, really obsessed with at the moment. Don't go anywhere. Bye. So, quick side note before we move on to the songs of the week. I've been trying to get a bit more consistent with protein lately, especially with how busy everything has been with me being on holiday, everything else, and I found something that actually doesn't feel like a chore anymore. It's called Klear Protein, spelled with a K, and it's basically a clear whey protein drink instead of those thick, heavy shakes that feel like a whole ass meal. Like, you just mix it with water and it turns into like a very light, almost juice-like drink. I've been having the fruity flavors mostly, way better than the usual vanilla chocolate situation, which, I'm sorry, like, that's not my vibe at all. But what I like, it's a super clean 20 grams of protein, 0 sugar, 0 lactose, so powder basically that you can just dissolve, so no weird bloating or anything like that, which honestly was my biggest issue with protein before. It's just easy. You just drink it, you're done, you move on with your life. If you want to try it, you just gotta use my code, man. Overshare pamphlet at checkout will give you 20% off any product, which is the best deal they do. And just basically go to Klear Protein with a K again, klearprotein.com, and use my code Overshare pamphlet. And just to be transparent, I do earn a commission if you use my code, so you're also supporting the podcast while using my codes. But yeah, if you have been struggling to get your protein in without hating the process, this is a good one to try. Go to klearprotein.com. Thank you for sponsoring the episode. Right, songs of the week, guys. This is a very special occasion for me because I have been so obsessed with Tiffany Day's album Halo. Now, why is it so, interesting and such a special event? Well, basically, this album, it's been a while since I've been obsessing over an album so much that I repeat the songs per day so many times. I'm talking about repeated listens. As soon as the song ends, I want to repeat it again. Like, there's so many good songs in this album that I want to talk about. But mainly, my favorite one overall is Copycat. Just so good. Like, and this is when I talk in general about like the song specifically. It's very clever lyric wise and like concept wise. It's basically, you know, I think there are so many songs out there at the moment about, and there have been, of course, in the past, about feeling sort of threatened by someone because they want to try and copy your manners. Like, just think, for example, about Copycat by Billie Eilish, or the other one, like Copycat by Melanie Martinez. They're all about, that specifically. And I think what's really interesting about this song is that it flips the perspective here. And in this song, Tiffany Day wants just to be the copycat of this other girl because she really admires her style and she wants to be as pretty as her and yada. Why she wants like the attention that she gets, and so she's a fan of her aura, like she's in awe of this person and she wants to cop to Jack. She says Jack her style, her or his style. So I found it very relatable, very interesting. Such a new way of approaching this term as well, like the whole concept behind it, like not necessarily like being the one being copied, but wanting to copy someone else, which is so interesting. But overall, I think this also is a good segue into the entire album. I think this album is such a interesting project because it combines two very different worlds, and she's done it so well. Like, this combines the confessional songwriting, like bedroom, like, songwriting in that sense, that are, they're trying to, of people like artists like Olivia Rodrigo, Taylor Swift, Audrey Hobart, Gracie Abrams, all these people. And so it gets that big trending music at the moment that we have with another big trending music, which is the revival of sort of hyperpop and electro dance music and electronic dance music and just rave music, basically, that was, brought up by people like Charlie XCX and Slater and all these other people who are into that hyperpop space in that sense. And her production style specifically goes a bit of a step further. It is definitely hyperpop in some instances, but it's also very much like electro dance music, like rave music, like intense production, very very like, electro dance, almost psychedelic as well. It's insane. And so the combination of the two, which is such a interesting way of doing it, is just like such a interesting vibe that is just unheard, and well, not necessarily unheard of. Like, this definitely takes like sort of like an inspiration from tracks like Sympathies and I, or like So Confusing to Be a Girl, like whatever, like all these sort of tracks from the Charlie XCX album. Like, that's I guess the matrix that comes from, but the production here is 100% more intense, more experimental, more out there, more left field even than Brat. So it's that plus the very confessional songwriting. Like, there's so many songs on here, like, I don't know, Pretty for You, Same LA is like talking about this person that Tiffany may still have feelings for, but she realizes basically that they don't live in the same LA. Like, she lives in a different. They are in the same city. It's just an interesting concept as well. Like, to live in the same city but living the city in different ways, basically, right? So interesting. And then there's Breakup, of course. American Girl is another great example of this. Like, incredible project. So I definitely recommend listening to this because it's just one of its kind. And I know maybe if you're not the biggest fan of like electro dance music, you might not like gravitate towards this at first. But again, if that's the case, listen to Copycat first because maybe that's the most popular songs on this. That and maybe Say Malay as well. And listen to everything else after, please. I also really like Do It For Me, by the way, but yeah, but I'll include a couple of songs in Song of the Week because they are incredible. Then I was also so pleasantly surprised to see my girl Revan Lene coming back. And I know Dominic Fike, some people hate him, some people love him, and he's on this track. I honestly don't care too much about him on the song itself, but this song seems like such an interesting duet between the two of them, and it's also production-wise reminiscing a bit of Bird's Eye, her previous album, and I'm so excited for this new era. Maybe it's a new era, I don't know if it is or not, but Reputation, so good. Like, my girl slays vocally, and lyrics are just very cool too. Like, she sings in the chorus like, you can save your reputation when I'm thinking of you, or like, don't want to save your reputation when I'm thinking of you as well. She says it's just an interesting concept. I think, like, to be torn about this person specifically. She says like, you look so good when you lie, yeah. Like, it's so interesting. So definitely another song to listen to for sure. And then maybe I am sort of late to this party, but I want to talk about very quickly the Sexy Villain Remy Wolf situation. That song is just so good. Anything that has Remy Wolf at the moment, I'm obsessed with. She's the OG, and her songs are just so groovy, so full of soul and R&B, and it's just such a good artist. I really cannot recommend enough. My girl is just insane. She's on it. I mean, that song, I don't know why, it's one of the songs that escaped me, but Sexy Villain is just amazing. There's that little bit of the bridge of an electric guitar is just amazing, and then just her vocals, her delivery, just amazing stuff. So yeah, definitely check out the songs that I'm gonna be putting in the playlist of the month. You can just search the Overture Pamphlet Songs of the Week, and it will be in April 2026. Thank you again for listening, and see you very soon. Bye.